Alrighty, I am Dana Ryan from danaryan.tv, and we are here in a live hangout. And I'm going to introduce my co-host, Diana from Being Mommy with Style. You want to go ahead and say hello to everybody?
Hey everyone.
And then our other co-host, Amy, Dreamflight 6000, she is not here tonight. Her son had open heart surgery 2 days ago, and the surgery actually went really well. However, she is not going to be here in the hangout, of course, because she is helping her son to recover. So all of our love and hugs to Amy as she is with family tonight. But we do have two special guests here with us from the YouTube Mama Meetup community. And first, I'm going to go ahead and let Chrissy introduce herself. You can go ahead and tell us what your channel is, what you do there, maybe how many kids you have.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chrissy, and my channel's name is Luna Baby Vlogs. I have two girls. Kayla is 6 years old, and Annalie is 21 months old. And my channel is a mommy channel. We do vlogs there, day in the lives. We also do do-it-yourself videos and recipes, our weekly meals. Just a lifestyle mommy channel, and we just share our life together as a family.
Okay, awesome. And how long have you been a YouTuber, Chrissy?
I've been a YouTuber for 4 years. I used to have a separate channel, but I found that mommyhood was more a part of me. So with my mommy channel, I started back in 2012. Yeah, so 2 years with my mommy channel.
Is your other channel still in existence, or did you just abandon that one?
It's still there, but I don't upload on there anymore.
Okay. All right. I won't ask you what it is. All right. How about Lydia? You want to go ahead and introduce yourself and your channel and what you do there?
Sure, I'm Lydia Sin, and I blog over at 5 for 5 Meals. We are a debt-free family, and that's what we talk about, living a limitless life on a limited budget and homesteading. We have a small homestead, and we have two little boys, 3 and I think 21 months tomorrow. So he's grown up too fast.
Oh, happy birthday. How long have you been on YouTube, Lydia?
Well, I kind of started like way back in 2008, and then I started again in 2012. But those videos from back in the day are not, they're embarrassing. So I really started in 2012, but then in April of last year is when I really started focusing on putting more time and effort into my channel.
And you started as a blogger, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So I guess we can kind of also tie in a little bit, just because I selfishly really want to know this from you, tagging blogs, because you're also in the Blogging Mommy Meetup group with me. So maybe we can kind of touch on that a little bit as we go through the questions.
Sure, yeah.
How you tag your blog posts. So that's what we're talking about in this hangout tonight is thumbnails and tagging of your videos and a little bit of your blog posts, if I can sneak that in here. And we have questions from the YouTube Mom Meetup Facebook group that we're going to go through. And then also tonight we do have our YouTube Mom Meetup Twitter team on hand. So we have Crystal from Brought to You by Mom and also Anne Marie from It's Just My Life CA and the rest of the Twitter team, which you can find at YouTube Mom Meetup.com/Twitter if you want to see who they are, and they are tweeting. You just use hashtag YTMM. I'll move up a little bit. You can see it on my shirt. So hashtag YTMM, and you can join the conversation there, and you can also join us in the comments. And I do see some comments already popping up here. So if you have any questions, please put those in the comments, and we'll try to address those as well if we can within the time that we have here. So let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste any more time. What is our first question from the Facebook group, Diana?
All right, so the first question from the YouTube Mama Meetup group is from Tasha, and she asked, how many tags do you normally use per video, and what are the most successful types of tags?
Okay. I think that's a really great question. I love this question.
Yeah.
So who wants to start with it? Let's see. Diana, go for it. How many tags
I'll
do
go for
you use?
Tag-wise, I would say sometimes I max it out, and I don't even know what that max is. What is it, 40? Sometimes I max it out, but generally, if it's just a normal video, I'm just getting it uploaded, I would say probably at least 20, 25.
Okay.
And I have, certain ones that are usually always on there because they're always applicable to me, like stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So
And you can also you can do phrases in your tags for anybody who's new to YouTube, not just one word. So when you go into your info, the section on your video where you can put in your description at the bottom is where you can add tags, which is essentially keywords, and that's how people can find your video. It tells YouTube what your video is about in conjunction with your description, what's written in there. So that's what the tags are for. But you can do one word and you can do phrases, just like Diana just said. So you can do, YouTube mom if you wanted to as a phrase, and that would be, in there together. So how about you, Christy? How many tags do you usually put into your video?
Well, sometimes I have a hard time because I just want the video to upload as fast as I can and be done with it. I just feel like I take so much time with the editing, but I do try to incorporate what the video is about in my tags. I would say usually about 20 tags, just typing away. I also incorporate what my video's about and also what my channel's about, and that's just what I do.
Okay. How about you, Lydia? How many do you put in your videos?
I would say as many as it takes to describe in brief what the videos are. I mean, I have the standard tags that I use every time, which are, the channel name and my name and, frugal living and those types of things. But I probably have maxed out a few times too. So I would say probably like 20 or 25.
Okay. And does everybody here put their channel name in your tags of every single video?
No, I always mean to do this, and I always forget to do it.
Well,
you should do it.
You can do it in the settings where it'll automatically tag each video the same way, and then you can go in and add additional tags if you
I should do that. Yeah, I should do that because I never remember to put my channel name. I can't remember of all the things. I can't
That's
remember.
In the upload defaults, right? Yep. Well, I don't. Okay, so this is something I think is interesting. I used to max out all of my tags. Like I used to put in the maximum amount. I just kind of load them all in there, as many as I could think of. And then now recently, in the past like 5 months, I stopped doing that. And that some videos I only put like 6 tags in there, and I found that those videos actually have higher views than the ones where I maxed out the tag box. So I sort of now have switched where I try to do 10 or less tags, but I always do put my channel name. I make sure that's one of the tags is my channel name in there to kind of like link, because I think that it helps your videos to show up like related videos on the side. If you have your channel name tag in all of your videos, then hopefully it'll sort of link them together in that related field. And then the other question I wanted to ask you guys, like, do you worry about the order of your tags? I know this is kind of like back and forth whether or not the order matters. Like if your title of a video is, what's in my diaper bag, do you make the first tag what's in my diaper bag? Or do you think it doesn't matter what order they're in? Do you guys have any opinion about that? How about you, Chrissy? Do you think it matters?
I always do that. I always put my title in my tags. And I always do that. And sometimes I'm typing away and I will repeat and it'll tell me like your tag is too long, so I have to go back in there, and sometimes it just all erases, and it's because I do that and then I try to make them separate, and I always make that mistake that I put the title first and then I forget and I redo it again.
Okay. How about you, Lydia? Do you think the order matters?
I've never really thought about it before.
Okay.
Maybe I should be doing that. But I've never even considered it.
I don't know that it really matters. No. I really don't. I don't know. Do you think it matters, Diana?
I don't know that it matters. I know that generally the format that I generally follow is tags that are specific to the video. So say it was what's in my diaper bag, what's in diaper bag, handbag, bag, purse. I would put all those specific to the video first, and then I put my general ones at the end. So, but I don't know if it matters or not.
That's what I do too. I actually will delete the whole box just to like go back in and make sure that I think my most important ones are first, just in case it happens to matter. I don't know if it does or not, but I was like, just in case, I'm going to try to make them be first. And I think like supposedly after a week or something, then it doesn't matter anymore that, YouTube uses other things to decide, how to rank your video, and it doesn't necessarily really put a lot of weight into the tags after your video's been out a while. However, I do go back after the fact sometimes, like a video that's been out for like 2 months, and I'll fix the tags and redo them. And I don't know whether that
Yeah.
improves the views. Do you guys do that? Do you go back later and switch them?
I
You
do
do,
that all
Chrissy?
the time.
No? Oh, you don't.
I
Okay.
do. I do.
No.
Oh, you do. Okay. Yeah. Do you do that too, Diana? I see you shaking your head.
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
No. You generally, once I'm done with it, unless I forgotten to add a link, which I do that a lot. Like I'll say, I'll link this down below, and then I totally forget. So then someone comments and is like, hey, what's this link? And I'm like, I have to go back and edit that in the description. But generally, once I put the description and the tags in there, I'm generally done with it. So.
Lydia, how many do you put in your blog posts?
Well, I have certain ones that are, again, like just standard that pop up every time, but not that many because they sometimes they show up on the bottom and it looks cluttered. So usually just like 3 or 4.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I put like about 10 in my blog posts too, and but I don't, my blog post, I don't put the tags in. I have that I have a plugin for SEO, and then it gives me like a spot for the tags. So usually I try to put like 10 in that box, but I'm not so sure how I'm doing on that. I see a lot of comments popping up here, and I want to point this one out from Angela, if I can find it. She said, "Look, it's Lydia. I love her too." So she must have said
I love Angela too.
Angela, I'm sure you said somewhere down here that you love all of us, I'm sure, right? Yes. And then let's see. Oh, look, Leah, you're so kind. She says I look beautiful. Let's definitely highlight that. She said, Dina, you look beautiful. Your hair is getting so long. It is, Leah. Leah raising bushes. I feel like I need to cut it, actually. I need to get a haircut.
It looks good. I like the longer length.
Thank you. It's very kind. I love all of you now. You're all my BFFs. Okay. All right. What is the next? Let's move on to the next question.
Next question.
That was a good one, though.
All right. So Sarah from Sensational Finds asks, do you think that thumbnails that show the topic, i.e. items you're hauling or the organizational project, sorry, I can't talk tonight, or your face get more views? How big of a role do you think thumbnails have in gaining more views? So should it be you or the item that you're talking about, and what kind of role do you think that those thumbnails play? I definitely have an opinion on this one.
All right, well then why don't you start if you go for it.
I think the thumbnails play a huge role. I think that the first thing is getting it into the search where people can find it, so your description and the title and all those things play a large role as well, but then once you get it in front of people, the thumbnail is what's going to make them actually click on the video. So I also feel like for project versus your face, in my opinion, from videos on my channel anyways, items that show the project or the item generally do more view-wise.
So like if you have a craft item, then you want to show, or
craft.
Food. I think I heard pictures of food do really well, right?
People love food.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love food. Yeah, there's like a thing with YouTube and food. I don't know what it is, but people love food. Yeah, so food, craft items, the stuff you're hauling, the sacks. I think that if you're doing a haul, like, the pictures of you like holding the sacks up, people like those. I think that's kind of equates to just showing the sacks, but yeah, definitely craft. I would show the craft.
What's a sack? I'm sorry.
A bag.
Like just a bag? Okay.
A sack? No one else calls it that? The shopping bag. The shopping
okay,
sack.
Thank you. I was like, what are we talking about here?
My accent strikes again.
No, it's all good. I never held up a sack. I was thinking of a Santa bag, actually. Let's keep this
Where's
clean.
Jen's little place when I need her? She understands me. She's from my area.
I was thinking of like one of those Santa. I don't know why. Okay,
Okay, I get what you mean, like a sack on your.
Yeah, right.
No,
exactly.
not Santa.
All right. Okay. Good. All right. Chrissy, what do you think about that? Do you think that how important are those thumbnails?
Well, that would be a question I would have asked myself because I'm not very sure. I'm actually new to the thumbnail world, like putting my own thumbnails on there. I started like playing around with settings on PicMonkey, and I love that, and sometimes I feel more comfortable with showing the product, but a lot of times I forget to like snapshot myself on iMovie, so I just go back in there and I just get the thumbnail of the picture of whatever it is. Like if it's a grocery haul, I just take a picture of the grocery haul, or I'll do a snapshot and that's what I'll put in the thumbnail and just do like a border. And I think I like seeing the people's faces, but I also like Diane Oh, what's her name? I'm sorry.
Diana
Diana, you
said,
got it
yeah.
right.
Yes, Diana. Oh my God, you guys have almost the same name. I'm
We do.
sorry.
The D's
Yeah,
are
Dana and
confusing. It's
Diana.
okay.
The thumbnails with the people holding up the plastic bags and the store name. That way you know where they're shopping and you know that that's the store. And I'm more interested in clicking on that if I see what store it is or if I see a little sneak peek of what the item is, because sometimes if you just put the whole thing, it doesn't really get, it's not a big surprise. Sometimes I do like to be surprised and I just like to see a little preview of what is going on in the video. I like to click on it to be surprised of, like, if it's a haul, what they got, not just the whole picture of what everything is.
That's a great tip as a viewer, that you like to see the name of the store on the bag. I think that's a good tip. I wouldn't have thought of that. How about you, Lydia? What do you think about the thumbnails? I mean, do you take go ahead. I have another
No, what were you
question for
gonna
you
say?
about blogs
Okay.
and follow up. Go ahead.
Well, I'm with Diana. I really think, like, just using my channel as the example, because that's the only one I know, the videos I get more views on are the ones where, like today I did a small office tour and I just used a picture of my desk. Like when I use the item that I'm actually going to be talking about, those do get more clicks. And when you think about it, that makes sense because people who are on YouTube are visual. I mean, that's why they're there, right? So they want to kind of get a little preview about what we're talking. That's how I look at it. But a good example of really great thumbnails, I don't think she's in the community, but OCD Much. She's a YouTube channel, and her thumbnails are always incredible. They have lots of different pictures. They have borders. They have what she's going to be talking about. They're a really good example, I think, of really great thumbnails.
And do you take a different, like do you put your videos up on your blog, and do you do a different thumbnail on your blog posts, or do you not incorporate your videos into your blog posts?
No, I do, and I usually use the same one. The one on the blog post is going to be optimized for Pinterest, and then the one on YouTube is going to be horizontal.
Okay. Yeah, so I think, the thumbnails are, of course, really important, and I've heard, before that an actual human face people are more likely to click on that, but unless you have a craft project or it's a food video. But having your face in it, I think, is really important, to be able to see, for whatever reason, like on an emotional level, when people see a human face, they're more likely to click it than if you're not in it. So I think that's important. And then I do, just take a snapshot of my video. I don't actually take like a separate picture while, after filming. I just take a snapshot because then it looks like you're actually talking or something within it as opposed to just smiling. So I do that, and then I put that in my blog post along with the video. So I do the same, like you just said, Lydia. I have the same picture in my blog post that I do for my thumbnail on the video. So that's it. And then I see on Twitter, Anne Marie on the Twitter team. She was talking about earlier. She said less is more in blog posts, as in for tags. So less is more. So that's good to hear. And let's see. I see Crystal. She wrote something which I don't understand. I avoid them unless it is something that is on a promotional item like a bag. They're talking about logos. I won't use the logo of a brand. So that's in follow-up to a question, which is confusing to me. All right, moving on. I had to read that whole thread to understand that. What's the next?
Sorry. She probably just means she doesn't want to associate her brand with somebody else's brand. Maybe is where she's going. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
I see it. Anne-Marie said, how does having a brand name in a thumbnail work with the YouTube rules on brands and sponsoring? So that's what they're talking about on Twitter. So that's a really good question. Yeah, how does that work with that? So you just kind of avoid it, I guess, unless you're promoting if there's a brand. Okay, that's good. All right, that's a good conversation they're having there. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then next question. Let's move on here. I see a bunch of comments. I'll try to read through them while you're reading the next question.
All right, so from the Facebook group, Sarah from Sari P4 asked, do you use a consistent format for all of your thumbnails, same font, same details, border, etc., or do you just make it based on your mood or video at the time?
Okay, good question. I think it's so important to be consistent. So I think that if you have a certain border like that you'd like to do, that you do it on all. So that way it's kind of very cohesive. I think that's you want your whole brand to be cohesive, meaning your channel art and all of your thumbnails. They should all be sort of a similar tone and feel. How do you feel about that, Diana? I see you shaking your head.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I don't always necessarily use exactly the same colors, but I generally stick with like pinks and purples just because that's what I gravitate towards. For Christmas, I'll change it up and use like a dark red. For Disney videos, I use like a dark blue. So I tend to stick with themes, I guess, color-wise. But then font-wise, I use two specific fonts in PicMonkey, and I really don't deviate from that. So I do, and I use specific ones for specific channels. So I guess I kind of
Yeah,
stick
that's a
with it
good
that
point.
way.
I sort of do the same thing because I use PicMonkey as well, and I never really think about it, but I always use like the same 3 or 4 fonts. I never pick any because those are just the ones I like, right? So I
Right.
always do the same one. So, yeah, that's a good point. How about you, Chrissy? I know you said you're just sort of starting with that, but I mean,
Well, lately I've been thinking about maybe sticking to one because I've heard so many good feedback on that. Lately I've just been going crazy with them. Since I've just started, I've just been going crazy and adding all this and that. But around Christmas, I try to keep the red and the green for Christmas, like when I did Vlogmas. But now I'm thinking maybe I should lean more into one border from the PicMonkey and one. I usually do like certain fonts, and I usually do use like about 2 or 3 fonts like you said, but I have been going a little bit crazy with the colors. But like Diana, I also lean towards pink and purple a lot because I have 2 girls, so I'm always leaning towards those colors as well. But I think I will consider that feedback, and I will start maybe sticking to one consistent thumbnail description thing from now
kind of
on.
style. I don't think it's
Yeah.
bad, like if you have the same. Some people I've seen kind of have the same thumbnail, like without even their face in it or anything, just the same stamp picture in
Yeah,
every single video, and then I tend to not click on those videos as much because I don't even know. Like I don't. I
same
like
one.
see.
Right.
Yeah, I like
That's kind of
seeing
going the
them.
other direction
Yeah,
almost, you
right.
know?
You don't want
Yeah.
to go too far with that, where like every single video has the exact same, just like picture. That's makes it hard. How about you, Lydia?
I don't use the same fonts every time, but it is sort of the same style and tone like you were talking about. Like there's usually like a muted shape that kind of clouds the picture and then writing on top of it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, in the same family.
All right, I see a comment here from Samantha from Happily a Housewife. She says, I think thumbnails are huge. I personally, as a viewer, like seeing the person's face on the thumbnail. It's like what I was saying. Yep. That way I know whose video I am clicking without even having to read. If it is a search video, then I would say the project would be more beneficial. You have to determine which audience you are after for that specific video. So yes,
Yeah.
that's a really good point.
And that's a good point too, because some videos your subscribers are going to be mainly interested in. Some videos are going to be searched out and viewed by a much wider audience that maybe don't even subscribe or know how channels work, but they're just searching YouTube, searching Google, and they are going to be looking for a different type of thumbnail. Yeah.
Right.
So.
You know how after a video ends, sometimes the related videos will show up, and you have
Mhm.
just that block of thumbnails, and that's it, and no text. And that's why I think this was a question in the group, Diana, but I like putting text on my thumbnails because of that reason. Because if you end up in a picture montage of other related videos,
It
and you have
stands out.
and you have a little text on there about what your video is about, that's what I think that's important, as opposed to just having a picture, because it might not necessarily be apparent what that video is about. So if you have the text on there, it might entice them to click it, or at least know what it is if you're in that picture montage. And also the text on there kind of gives you an opportunity to write something different than what you have in the title. So, if you have your title, say one thing, then you can kind of word it a little bit differently, or maybe in a more a funner way, in the thumbnail. You can write it there. So I kind of like that too, because it gives you the option to sort of have 2 different titles on your video that way.
Yeah, I agree. And Tasha is the person that had the question. She said that I read that the pictures should be in your thumbnail, no words. What is your opinion on putting a pretty and colorful title on your thumbnail, so the words on there? So you pretty much nailed it on that question, answering that all in one
Good.
thing there. Yeah.
Okay, and then is there another question then that we can move on to?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Tasha also asked, what is the easiest way to create a thumbnail using iPhone iMovie? So for the Mac users, how do you create your thumbnails? And I use PicMonkey. I'm an iMovie user, and I use PicMonkey.
Okay.
Does anyone else have a Mac? You have a Mac, don't you?
I have a
Dana?
Mac. I don't use iMovie, but I think is her question on a phone? How to do it on a phone, or to do it
Oh,
on?
as far as using iPhone, iMovie. Yeah, I guess if she's using her phone,
In
no
iMovie,
help there.
can you take a still frame in iMovie of your video clip to pull out an image, or no?
I have never used iMovie on my phone. What I do on the computer is I just Command F4 it, and you can screenshot and square it out. And that's how I take a still shot on the computer.
Okay. That
But I
might
don't
answer
know.
that question. I don't know if you can do it on your phone. Do you guys know? Lydia, do you have a Mac or use
I
iMovie?
do. I don't use it on my phone, but I will say I updated iMovie today, and they now have a screen grab function where you
Oh,
just like pull the
great.
clip out and
That's
throw it in
really
your
good.
desktop.
Okay. Awesome.
Because I was thinking of some overcomplicated way of like, taking a screenshot of your phone, then putting it
Mhm.
into a picture editor, and then putting, it's like a 7-step process. So,
I do that for Instagram. I do the
yeah, I
little
do that for
phone
Instagram too.
screenshot of
Yeah.
my video and then put it on Instagram. That's
It's
what I
like
do
45
there.
minutes later, you have a picture.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
And Chrissy, you don't use iMovie, or do you
I
do?
just got a Mac and
Okay.
I started playing around with iMovie and I just do an ad freeze frame and then I save it to my computer. Then I use PicMonkey as well to do the thumbnails. But I've never done iMovie on my phone, so I wouldn't know.
Okay. Well, Annie also asked, how do you do iMovie as a thumbnail on the computer? So there was your answer. You can freeze frame it, or you can use Command 4 and crop it out. So we answered her question as well.
Good. Okay. All
We're
right.
answering questions left and right without
I
knowing
know.
it here.
We're doing good.
Yeah. You ready
Okay.
for the next one?
I'm looking at Twitter here. I see that Mel, for the love of sorted, at for sorted, said, I prefer descriptions that describe the video. So that's good. So I guess, in your description, that's also something to think about. That is basically a tag when you're filling out your description box, making sure you put as many of your keywords within your description as you can, not just the tag box. So I think that's important to sort of bring up that, I mean, how much do you guys write in your description boxes? Do you try to fill that in to the max, like you're writing a blog post, or do you, and I see you shaking your head no, Diana, you just kind of put in a sentence?
No, I have my things that are always there that are default, and that's basically links for all the social media for that channel, links for all my social media for Bags for Bubbles, and just little disclaimers and stuff down at the end. So that's always on there. That just automatically loads. And then what I actually would write in on each description would probably be about 2 short paragraphs, maybe 1 short paragraph, depending on the video, of just basically a synopsis of what I did in the video, what we did during the day, if it's a day in the life. It's pretty short, I think, for me.
Lydia, do you write a whole blog post type style within your description box?
No, I usually will link back to a blog post if there's one that goes with the video. But I'm the worst offender at ignoring the description box. It's like there's Twitter down there. Bye.
Oh, come on, you're my blogger. What are you doing here, Lydia?
There's usually a link back to the post or to something that I've talked about, but I don't usually fill out a long description. I mean, do people click on them? I guess that's good to know if people are actually clicking on the down bar to read.
Well,
I always do. I can't believe people
I look at
don't.
descriptions a lot, and also the rich text helps you in search.
Yep.
So if you have something
Yeah.
there, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, even if no one reads it, you're saying, right, Diana?
Yeah,
'Cause then,
exactly. You have a
Well,
couple sentences, synopsis there. Yeah.
I usually watch, videos on my phone, which YouTube on your phone is the worst, and on my TV. So on the TV, there's not a way to look at
Right.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no way on the TV? I've never watched on TV. I
Mm.
watch on my phone, but I guess there's no way to see it on your TV screen. That's kind of a bummer. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, how about you, Chrissy? Do you write anything in your description box?
I do write like 1 paragraph and then I link social media, thanks for watching. But I just was listening that you write description tags. I mean tags in your description. I've never.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
No,
I
not
didn't-
like that. Don't do that because you'll
Don't
get in
do that.
trouble. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll get in trouble by YouTube. You know how people put at the bottom, like they'll write
Yeah,
like
that's
tags
what I've heard
and all
that
the words?
that's
Yeah,
not
don't do that.
allowed, so I've never done that before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just do a little paragraph, describe what the video's about. If it was a video request, I like to thank the person, the subscriber or something, and then I just do the social media. Thanks for watching. Pretty much that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I try to fill it in. This is where I go back, after the fact a lot of times and try to fill it in later when I have time, because usually it's like I batch film everything and upload everything, and then I'm trying to get everything just like scheduled out for the week, and so I don't have time to sit there and write a lot. But then later on, like Lydia was saying, like later on if I have a blog post that goes with my video, then I'll go back to that video and fill it in more in the description box and add the link back to the blog post. So I kind of do it like piecemeal, kind of. It's not really all together, but I definitely try to fill it in. I know I probably should do a better job of that, but it's hard. It's time consuming, right? It's like we're doing, trying to get the video up, so it's hard to sit there, especially with those of us who have more than, when you have a couple videos a week, it kind of gets like.
Right. It is very time consuming to have to think about each. Yeah.
But I always try to take whatever the video is about and make a couple sentences with those words in it to make it natural and flow normal, but then help with the search. So I try to do that. I see Leah raising bushes. She said text is also very important on thumbnails if you plan on pinning your videos to Pinterest. That's a very good point. So if you're going to just take the video and pin it in video form to Pinterest, and then having text on the thumbnail is important there because obviously that's a visual platform. So that's a good point. Thanks, Leah. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Is there another question, or did we?
A couple more questions about thumbnails. Angela asked, how do you make your thumbnail stand out without making it look cluttered? So how much is too much on a thumbnail?
Yeah. I guess if I know some people maybe take the collages, maybe that's what she's talking about, right? When you have
right, and PicMonkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta remember they come out really small, so I always just use the standard format that pops up. It's just like one big one on the side and then two on the side is like the standard collage that pops up on PicMonkey whenever you're making them. But I would say no more than adding making 4 pictures, 4 or 5, I think would be the max. But
yeah, I think 3 maybe is probably, and more than that, you're getting kind of into
you're
muddy
not
water.
gonna be able to see it because it's gonna get so small.
Yeah, then it'll look a little cluttered. I never really even do the collages. I just do one whole picture. I've seen them with the 3 pictures, and I don't think it's bad. I think it looks okay. I know you do that, Diana, like you said.
For day in the life, it works well for those because you can kind of we did this and we did this and we did
That's
this.
a good point. A day in the life, it might be really good for, but something else.
I think that's really the only thing it works for. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I think that's what it works best for. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna put a disclaimer.
Go ahead, Chrissy. What do you want to say? Go ahead.
Actually, I make bento lunches for my daughter, and I take pictures of each lunch, and those videos have a lot of views. So I will do about 4 or 6 pictures of each lunch, and then just a color border, and then a little bento lunches for the month of February, something short in the middle. And those videos are really clicked on because I think I always try to use the same color of the lunchbox that I'm using, so that way it's the same and it's not a different thing. It makes it look too busy. But if it's the same one and the same color, then I think it looks okay for the lunches because people want to see the different lunches, and I think they can still see the lunches once I put them in 4 pictures, 4 in the collage.
Yeah, I can see.
It does work for the lunches. But
I can see it definitely working for that.
I would understand why it looks too busy. But for the lunches, it does work.
So if you have a series, then it's good. I would consider that a series video of all the different specific lunches. Then I
post the lunches monthly, so it's. I guess my viewers already know how.
What it's going to look like.
You've conditioned your viewers. Your subscribers expect that, so it's good.
So here's the rule. So if it's a crafting item, show the craft. If it's a food item, show as much food as possible in the thumbnail. People love food.
You got it. You got it. Okay, I see May Mommy 2011 said, for the description, I recently started writing about a paragraph about what the video is about. I think it helps your videos be found in searches. Since you aren't allowed to just write tags, I just include as many keywords as possible in that paragraph. So that is a very good point. I like that. Yes.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. Okay. All right.
We
So go
have
ahead.
one last question from the Facebook group about thumbnails, because we've answered a bunch of them along the way. So the one that we haven't talked about or touched on is from Cindy, and she asked, what is the best size for a thumbnail? So when you're actually making it, what size do you guys format it?
600 by 800. That seems to be the most easily uploaded form. I'm sorry, I just jumped in.
No, go
this is
ahead.
very
That's
good.
The most easily uploadable size is the 600 by 800, or maybe 800 by 600. I might have that backwards.
Okay.
I always keep mine 1280 by
1280 by 720.
yeah, because that's the size of my video, because that's the size of the YouTube video. So when I do the screen grab, that's just the size of it, and that's what I do. But that's good, Lydia. I didn't realize. I just always kept it that size. I don't know. 1280 by 720, right? That's the number for the.
That's what I start out as. I put that size at the bottom, 1280 by 720, and then before I save it, I size it down to like 450, so it takes up less room on my computer.
Oh, well, now we're all going to do Lydia's size. What was that again? Say it again.
I think it's 600 by 800, or
Okay.
maybe 800 by 600.
Something like that. Okay.
And if you lock the dimensions on PicMonkey, like so say you had 600 by 800 or 1280 by 720 and you lock the dimensions, then you can just resize it to whatever you want for the first number and it'll keep the shape the same as it makes it smaller too.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it's 800 by 600.
Good.
I had
Okay.
it backwards.
Okay. Perfect. And that was it for that
That was it.
question,
I mean,
right?
we touched on a lot of them, order of tags and that sort of thing. We answered a lot of questions along the way. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. All right, good. And that is like perfect timing for, we are just past the time, so it's good. I'm looking on Twitter right now, so I'm trying to see what everybody's talking about on there. It says 1280 by 720 is the YouTube standard, so they're saying, and Sandy, the PJ mommy, got to give her a little shout out. She's on Twitter. She says, I always do a pic of the subject as my thumbnail. Picture of the subject. Okay. And, okay, I'm scrolling down. And Angela Zorns from I Am Zorno, she says, I like my description box to be a long run-on sentence with a lot of extra info, maybe like a transcript with extra I Am Zorno stuff. That's good, Angela. I like that. That's yeah, some of the bigger YouTubers have some really funny description boxes that are just run-on sentences of just all kinds of weird stuff, but all right. Okay, good. All right, so thank you. I can see everybody in the comments here. Thank you guys for joining us on Twitter. And again, you can go check out the whole Twitter team at youtubemommymeetup.com/Twitter. So huge shout out to Anne-Marie and Crystal, our Twitter team leads. Thank you guys for keeping the conversation going there. And I do really want to we're going to do a future hangout with the whole Twitter team, I'm hoping, to talk about the Twitter parties we have and how the best practices for Twitter, because they are just amazing with what they do there. All right, so before we leave, I definitely want everybody to let us know where everyone can go to find you. So let's start with you, Lydia. Where can everyone go to find you on YouTube and also everywhere else on the web?
Oh, sure. On YouTube, we are 5 for 5 Meals. We've gone through like a rebranding transition, and so the blog is frugaldebtfreelife.com. And then if you just go there, you can find everything else.
Okay.
There are too many social media outlets.
All right, perfect. All right, how about you, Chrissy? Where can everybody go to find you?
Well, I'm on YouTube, Luna Baby Vlogs, and we use Instagram, Luna Baby Vlogs as well. I just started using my Twitter and my Facebook. It's also Luna Baby Vlogs. And I'm also posting my daughter's lunches and other ideas on Pinterest. And my name is also Luna Baby Vlogs on there.
Are you on Instagram too? You got to be on Instagram with those pictures. Yes? Okay,
Luna
good.
Baby Vlogs.
All right, perfect. That's the way to do it. Okay. Luna Baby Vlogs, right, with a V?
with a
Luna
V.
Baby Vlogs with a V. Okay. All right. And Diana, where can everybody go and find you and your stylish self?
All right. You can find me at Being Mommy with Style. It's youtube.com/Being Mommy with Style. You can find me on Instagram, Being Mommy with Style, and also on Facebook. My name is too long, however, for Twitter and Pinterest, so find me Being Mommy Style over at those places.
Okay. And go and find our other co-host, Amy, at Dreamflight6000. Also go and check her out on Instagram. That's Dreamflight6000. She has pictures of her son, and you can follow up with her there as far as how he's doing, and she's doing a good job of keeping us up to date. And we miss you tonight, Amy. And I am Dana Ryan, and you can find my YouTube channel at danaryan.tv, or you can go to danaryan.com to find my blog and also my podcast. And if you're listening to the YouTube Mommy Meetup podcast, we thank you guys so much for listening, and we always encourage you to go and leave us a review on iTunes. We really do appreciate that when you do so. And if you're interested in joining the whole YouTube Mommy Meetup community, you can go and find us on Facebook and join us there. We have a lot of collabs that are posted there, and just really great discussion every single day. There's something new, and we have all kinds of tips and stuff going on there. So come and join the group there, and don't forget about the YouTube Mommy Meetup Conference we have in Chicago in August. And all you have to do is go to youtubemommymeetup.com/conference to get all of that information. And all this information is down below in the description box, or you can go to the show notes and just go to youtubemommeetup.com and then click on podcast, and you'll see everything there. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. This was a fun topic. I enjoyed it, and I feel like we just rocked those questions tonight, you guys. I really do. We made it through so well. All right, okay, and we'll be back in 2 weeks here on the channel. We'll see you then.